Alright, good day folks. Today we're going to start on a fly that I've recently discovered. I'm sure most of you have probably fished it before, but I was unaware of a fly called a mini. It's a foam body pattern, and we're starting with the Semperfi thread. I believe it's 18-aught. Or 30D, and a size 22 Umpqua dry fly hook. I'll include pictures of the packages there. And one of the things that I don't know if you've noticed on the dry fly videos, but I like to include a bit of wire in the body to make sure it kind of acts as a keel as we're going forward. So I'll wrap that all the way up and make sure we have a good backing on this. Okay. And I found that these, I've tied them in yellow, and I've tied them with yellow foam, excuse me, and with black foam, and I think the beetle representation tends to work best for the waters that we fish here in northern New Mexico. And with the black, I tend to do a purple dubbing, of course, for the body. And I kind of lean towards the ice dubbings as of late. I don't know why, I just like the way they look. So, okay. The last one that I kind of tied, well, I did tie as a prototype. Fished it in one of our latest videos, and the fish hit that so hard they finally broke the hook. Probably 25 or 30 fish hit, just attacking these. I think the only thing I could figure is there had to be a beetle that they really liked that was dropping in the water in that area. But yeah, they were nailing these things. And like I said, I only had one at the time. I foolishly had only done that. Only tied one. Not knowing how these were going to play out. Okay, I like to do a little build up there because that's ultimately where I'll tie to when we do the body on there. Just a quick wrap with I tend to use on a 22, I use the extra small type wire. And on these I find the silver tends to blend right in but provides the keel functionality is what I call it. For the fly itself. So it tends to roll over really easy and land correctly. So, snip that off there. Also bring this in here. There we go. Go ahead and tie this off. And that provides you with that stable body or base. And keep in mind, you can tie these as big or as small as you want to go. For me, given the name of the mini, I tend to take that literally and go small. So. I think the biggest I've tied these on has been an 18, which in this particular pattern kind of feels like a shark hook, but people tend to say I fish a little smaller than required, but we tend to find fish, so I'm okay with it. Okay. Now we're going to bring this on. It should be noted the cutting tools, and I'll include pictures of those at this point, have the, I bought like a set which goes from very large to very small. For these 22s, I tend to use the smaller size to cut the foam to ensure that we have a stable base. So we've started that thread on there. I just keep the same thread all the way through. And there we go. Just want to make sure you keep everything centered on there. And I tend to bring this back just a little bit beyond the bend. I've seen them tied up directly on the bend. Just kind of where I go. And we'll use the, we'll go with the pink and back. Okay. Everything in there. Okay. I'll usually go ahead and clip this off to keep it back out of the way. Just keep it in line. Alright. Clean up a few of these stragglers here. Without cutting your thread. That's the big key. Now we're going to fold the foam over to provide a rounded head. I like to try and bring it up even, or sometimes even a little farther back than the actual eye, but that gives you the head for your beetle there. And then I'll come back here before I continue, snip this off, leaving that little bridge there as we go forward. I like to use just a bit of white up front to bring everything together. It also helps old eyes be able to track these through the water. So there you go. Okay. Bring that down. Okay. Go ahead and snip that excess off of there. There we go. Really the beauty of these. They tie really, well, I'm not going to say really quick, but relatively quick. Incorporating the legs using the Sexy Floss, small yellow there. What I do with these, I tend to fold them in half. And I tend to cut them apart once I've got them on. It seems to be a little easier for me. I'll do 3 or 4 wraps there. And Bring this out level, cut. Now you've got your legs set up, you can pull them, bring them around. Brings that up to date. Okay. Just a touch of purple over the top, cover up all the wraps. I like to do is bring it all up front and then tie it just in behind. Keeps everything nice and tight. Go. Bring that in, draw it tight. There we go. Now we can trim the legs down. Bring those in. There you have it. Gotta trim it down just the way you want it. And there's your mini. Like I said, the first time I fished these here in northern New Mexico, they got attacks, just rainbows even were coming up for the dries, and here normally they're more of a traditional type fly fish here. But one of the other things I like to do to these, at least that's what we've discovered here, or I have, some people could argue that. I'll take a drop of super glue and just add that in there. I think it kind of adds to the keel a bit too. Everything tightened together. There we go. And there you have it. 1H mini ready to hit the river. Alrighty. Thanks folks, and tight lines.